for Don Nathan, but with Mark Bolger, who he would team up with for a year towards the end of his career.
Right in the playoff thick of things, but today is such an important day, obviously, and these two head coaches looking to each of their quarterbacks to provide a
Or be reminded of, this guy was drafted by the San Diego Padres.
Oh, I remember.
In 2015, that would be the same team that drafted you.
Yeah, just 15 years removed. That's right. You know, it heartened me to see Jamar get in the game last week and lead that terrific game-winning drive. But obviously his familiarity with Skip's offense is what allows him to come in and have success right away.
By the way, in baseball, a catcher leads, right? In football, a quarterback leads. And that's what Jamar was as a baseball player. And the players to watch.
Well, Jay Sternberger finally got going last week, the tight end for Birmingham. That's a huge deal for them right in the middle of the field. Deion Kane is really their main weapon on the outside. Watch out for Peter Tamuapenu. He leads the league in sacks. He is a game wrecker off the edge. And Willie Harvey has always been a guy that is always around the football. But you've got to pay attention to Tamuapenu. He's a guy that can wreak havoc in the backfield of an offense.
2nd down and 7. Maribel, the Coastal Carolina star, takes it beyond the 30 to the 33 in the arms of 92 Phil Hoskins. This defense is without their two starting defensive ends, Pesavea and Falu, but they're quality backups, Baugh and Hoskins, with Mack, Isaiah Mack in the middle of that defensive front for St. Louis. It's 3rd and 3.
Yeah, and these third downs, they become so important, in particular early in the game, and in particular in this location. Crowd noise is an issue here in St. Louis with the faithful on their feet.
Well, they draw more than any other team in this league, although inclement weather conditions probably affecting the crowd today. On the slant, incomplete. Nice job defensively. Pass was intended for Davion Davis. It falls incomplete. It'll be 4th down and 3. That was Lucas Dennis in coverage, number 23.
Yeah, well, what they're trying to do is get this in-breaking route over here on the left side. You're going to see a little bit of a dropout from the linebacker, and he's in the window, but it's just better defense. And Dennis comes right over the top, bats that ball away, and forces the punt on this first series of the game.
Colby Watman will punt it away. Should get it off around his 21 on 4th down and 3.
Hey, we good, we finished.
Shakur Pearson is back deep in single safety.
Okay. I have got pressure.
Oh, and he'll let that one bounce, and it does go into the end zone for the touchback. And the players to watch for the Battlehawks of Max Duggan.
Well, I tell you, Duggan obviously is the guy. But if you're looking at this offense, you got to pay attention to Jacob Sailors. Now, he was a little better early in the season than what they have been of late running the football. But Duggan has picked that up, running the ball from the quarterback position. Akeem Butler. I keep coming back to Akeem Butler. He was the player of the year last year on the offensive side of the ball. But in 4 games this year, Timmy, only 4 catches. That's got to pick up for them. By the way, 3 of those are touchdowns. And then Bradley Anai for Birmingham. Watch out for him. Specifically, as was the case with Tamuapenu on the opposite side. This guy is a game wrecker. He's in the backfield constantly, and he's leading one of the better defenses in the league.
180.
Jacob Sailors, you can make a case he's the best player on any field in this league when he's out there. Duggan going deep, and he's got an open man. Knocked away. Beautiful defensive work as Shakur Pearson had a couple of steps on the defender that time. This could have been a huge play. It was Harper, Madre Harper in coverage.
I love this route. First of all, it's a tight formation, and then he's got that outside release and comes back into the post, and he's got the time. He's got the separation. Duggan's got to get that ball out in front. You see this hitch? He takes 2, 3 hitch steps up into the pocket. That means he's late. If you take 3 hitch steps, you better throw that thing as far as you possibly can, but the wide receiver Pearson's got to wait for it, and it's batted away.
On 2nd and 10, Jacob Sailors makes his way through. The former free agent pickup of the Bengals, stopped by Marvin Wilson. Sailors is a guy that can beat you in a variety of ways. There are the numbers on Duggan. We've talked often, Joel, even in his college days. You and I saw a lot of him at TCU, even that great year that he had. But that unorthodox throw has always been an issue for him. But boy, is he a tough competitor.
Well, he's just such what I would just call him is this guy has the competitive spirit. You put him between the lines, you give him a clock in the scoreboard, he's going to play his best.
Well, that was a bullet on 3rd down and 4 for Frank Darby. Darby had a couple of big catches in a much-needed drive against Memphis a week ago. And it'll be 4th down and a punt formation coming up.
It was there. Duggan put it on him. It's the right route. Darby has got to catch that ball, and Birmingham, the beneficiary, that was going to move the chains, and the drop leads to a punt.
Sterling Hoffrichter out of Syracuse handles the punting chores, and Davion Davis awaits for Birmingham. A lot of hang time, but Davis finds a little bit of a gap, gets a quality return after a 44-yard boot. Jerome Cap comes down on special teams to make the stop.
With some of the best in the business, there's no doubt, and done some of the biggest and best events throughout the years. I knew you would have pictures. That's the other thing. Having worked with you for a year, I knew you would have photos. You're a great photo taker.
Ricky Persons in the backfield. It's 1st down from the 35. Punt fake and a beauty. Smith lets it fly on the sideline route. He's got Deon Cain, touchdown.
You talk about courage in the pocket. Watch Jamar Smith. First of all, the pass is unbelievable, right? I mean, it is so good. We'll talk about that in a second. Check out the courage. You got a linebacker bearing down right in your chest. He stands in there, takes the hit, and this ball is thrown perfectly down the sideline to Deon Cain. Cain didn't have to break stride. In fact, he got to accelerate through the ball. That's the hit in the chest of Jamar, and then boom, it's a touchdown for Birmingham. Beautiful release on the outside by Deon Cain, and again, he just has to accelerate through the ball. The yards after the catch. Beautiful job.
They are going to go for 2 here for the extra point, so they line up at the 5-yard line and go empty. He can run it. He did it a week ago. This time just shy. He tried to go for the end zone line, but he lost the ball on the way there, so the attempt fails. It's 6 minutes. By the way, he had Mike Rose, one of the outstanding linebackers, former Iowa State star, piercing down on him, but that rainbow off the...
That was a beautiful ball. And Deon Cain, by the way, he has been the deep threat for them, and we've seen that a couple of times this year. Regardless of quarterback, we've seen it with Matt Corral, we've seen it with Case Cookus, now Jamar Smith.
The ball down the field.
By the way, this is the 5th quarterback that has played for Skip this year. This is the 4th starter for Skip this year alone.
Unbelievable.
And he just continues to have guys play well. But again, I'll go back to this familiarity. You know, at La Tech, he was a guy that played a lot of football for Skip.
And a reminder, this is a guy that played behind Luke McCown and Tim Rattay. Okay, both with NFL pedigree and some coaching pedigree. And that's what he wants to do, by the way, is coach. He's working his way towards becoming one. And he's 3rd all-time at Louisiana Tech in passing. Here's Gary Jennings bringing this one back up to the 35-yard line. Ball is loose. Ball is loose, but apparently it's going to be, we'll just have to wait. See as they untangle who's got the football. Looks like it might be Birmingham.
Hey, hey, hey. Let him go, let him go, let him go.
That's Ty Crowder. It's on top of it.
Okay.
Number 20. He's not letting go. I know this. Crowder is not letting go of the football. This may be one that involves our command center. Might get Dean Blandino to work here pretty quickly.
The ruling on the field is a recovery by the kicking team. Kicking team.
So they're saying we've got a marker down too. Yeah, I think this could be Birmingham's football.
You got to make an announcement.
Jennings returning it. Crowder on top of it.
Made an announcement, but apparently the stadium mic isn't working, that it's a recovery by the kicking team.
Yeah. Well, the stadium announcement is, in fact, that it does belong to Crowder and Birmingham. Let's see.
Well, the ball's definitely out. You see that great punch right there on the special teams. Beautiful job punching that ball away.
Peanut Tillman moment here. 16. Daniel Isom.
There's the punch. Ball is out, and then it becomes, is there like clear evidence of a recovery? Yep. And they gave it to the kicking team, and I tell you what a sequence of events here, Tim.
Yeah.
In the last couple of snaps, you get the long touchdown and now a special teams turnover.
Mario Goodrich is who punched it out. And here's Dean Blandino. Dean?
A lot of moving parts on that one. First, was it a fumble? And it was. And then you've got to figure out in the pile, as Joel was saying, who had the football. The officials go in and dig. They gave it to Birmingham. There was also a flag on the play for an illegal block in the back against St. Louis. That obviously is declined. And so all that said, it's going to be Birmingham's ball, 1st and 10.
Well, good job, Dean. And that command center is busy here early. There you saw kind of that immediate recovery. And now what an opportunity here for Birmingham to take a big lead.
Person inside the 30 to the 29. And here's Jim.
Well, you know, I had planned to talk to Jamar there, but things happened real quick, and he ran back out there as quick as he could. Look, I know we played that press conference between he and Skip Holtz. Their relationship runs deep. We know they go back to college, and I asked him about his head coach before the game, and he said, if I could write a book about anyone, it would be about Skip. He's almost a father figure to me. He gave me a scholarship. He gave me a chance, and he was patient with me this season. He knew if he brought me back, I'd be ready. And look what we're watching, guys.
Well, if you're calling Skip the quarterback whisperer of the spring, Exhibit A is Jamar Smith. That pass falls incomplete, intended for the tight end, Jay Sternberger. Lucas Dennis, 23 in coverage. 3rd down coming up.
Come on now. 3rd what?
You got to see the game like Skip sees the game. You know,
all right, here we go. Here we go. Let's go. Locker, dirty, yo. Who's your odd-tied wrist? Locker, dirty, yo. Who's your odd-tied wrist?
Territory. Would he go for it on 4th down? You know, I don't know. After a turnover like that, possibly.
Well, what a great read that was by Smith, huh? And this offense is perfect for Smith. That's a Ken Muladoon that makes the tackle, number 98. And he's the only starter in that forward wall, but it's shy of the 1st down, it appears, by about a half yard. And it is 4th down.
Hey!
It's less than 1.
2 things. 2nd and 3. Hand the ball off, playing outside leverage, trying to throw a 5 to our tight end. Hand the ball off, and we need 3 yards, too.
Well, what I was
talking about that 2nd down. Yeah. Listen, I thought at 4th and 1, you got a running quarterback. I would have gone for it again there.
Same here.
One on 3rd and 3, Tim, almost signals that you're going to go for it on 4th, and they don't, and they kick the field goal.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised, too. Harrison Mavis, by the way, has only missed 1 field goal. That was a 63-yarder that turned into a kick 6.
We all dealt with.
Yeah, indeed. And Jenny, of course, made her way in early this morning. The turbulence, though, has subsided. We're indoors. And the fans that have made it are certainly feeling some anxiety now as the home team has fallen down by 9. Jennings will take a knee. Here's Bradley Anai, Joel, who I know has captured your attention all season.
Yeah, he's been their best pass rusher and one of the best in the league. He leads the league in quarterback pressures, and he's a big reason why this defense has been so effective. Tim, this defense is the best defense in the league as it relates to scoring. Only giving up about 15.5 points per game. I think that they do that mostly by having what I would call the best front in the UFL. They're number 1 in rushing yards allowed, number 1 in red zone touchdown percentage, and that's really where they make their hay. It's not necessarily in the middle of the field. It's just preventing points once teams enter that red zone.
From the 35, out pattern to the tight end, Sutherland. And Jake Sutherland has a 1st down out beyond the 45-yard line. Only 1 catch a week ago for 8 yards, 12 on that one. And you would think that they would go more towards him and to Chase Allen. They've got good tight ends on this St. Louis roster. Same is true really for Birmingham. And when they got the tight ends involved last week in the 2nd half, made a huge difference in that comeback victory, falling down 25-6 against Houston a week ago. Nice bounce out by Saylor to try to get anywhere. Manages the 50. And DeMarquise Gates, number 47. There's Corey Chamblin, the defensive coordinator, very quietly has done an outstanding job here.
One of the things that I really admire is that he's patient. You know, so many defensive coordinators, they get antsy and they want to make stops all over the field. And listen, that's well and good, but the key is preventing points. And he understands that you prevent points by preventing big plays and then not allowing teams to run the football once they get into the red zone. And that's two things that they're really good at.
And coverage that time, and it leads to a penalty flag coming down. Jacour Pearson being defended by the nickelback Isom, and he got a little handsy with him, and that appears to be the infraction. Francisco Villar is our referee today. Eric Oliver handling replay.
Well, here's the contact, and I think they got him earlier than this last contact right there, because that ball is severely underthrown, but there's a bit of a grab earlier on. I think that's where they got him. You see that ball thrown way out in front and even out of bounds as that flag came out.
Well, that's a gift. From the 45, first down. Duggan under some heat. Lets it fly. Just wanted to get it out of there. Became a dangerous pass as it hung in the air in the direction of Sailors. Yarberry with the pressure of the defensive tackle, 97. And he broke free.
Yeah, here he comes right in here, and because of that, Yarberry with a terrific rush, and now he's right in the face of Duggan, who actually gets pretty lucky because that ball was way over the head of Jacob Sailors and could have been picked off. You know, tips and overthrows, those are things you, in every level of football, tips and overthrows usually wind up in the hands of the defense, and right there Duggan was lucky that it was not intercepted.
Yeah, that hit on the elbow forced the ball to flail a bit, and look at this snap over his head. A fortuitous bounce, and he gets it past the line of scrimmage, so a flag does come down, maybe shy of the line of scrimmage, in which case we could be seeing another penalty.
I wonder if they were in the neutral zone there. They got a pretty good jump on that.
44?
Either that or a formation
44.
issue.
Preliminary indication is offside.
Offside. Number 44, the defense was in the neutral zone to snap. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
We're on that one. You haven't lost a step since we've been together.
I appreciate that, partner. Here we go over on the outside, and we watch just a little bit of an early start here on the offense's left. And boy, that bails them out again. So now a couple of penalties on the defense have allowed St. Louis now deep into the territory of Birmingham, now inside the 30-yard line.
Second down and 5. Duggan looks for the corner. Incomplete, intended for Jennings. Some safety help was coming that time for Goodrich. He got it from Isom.
It's not great coverage until the end. And this ball needs to be thrown way back towards that back pylon. So that we've seen now twice Duggan short these wide receivers down the field, and a little contact right there as Goodrich was up into the chest of the wide receiver, Gary Jennings, before that ball arrived. I'm surprised that there wasn't a flag there.
I'm with you. 3rd and 5. Duggan under a lot of pressure again. He just sort of eats it, and we got another flag down, so hang on. That little yellow hanky has been popping out here in this series.
5-yard automatic first. We're going to tack that on to the end of the run.
It is on the defense.
Run in and behind the line. Illegal contact for 32 of the defense. 5-yard penalty with an automatic first down.
A.J. Thomas, strong safety out of Western Michigan, is tagged.
Well, you know, here's Thomas right here working against Butler, and you see the contact, and he just keeps his hands on him, and now that's the 3rd penalty that has given life to this drive for St. Louis. You know, we had the long one, and then the offside, and then here a little illegal contact, and now Corey Chamberlain is going to have to lean on that great red zone defense. Not quite in the red zone yet, but this is where Birmingham is at their best.
Boy, Sailors just showing how resourceful he is. Trey Norwood, the free safety, has to come up and make the stop. And he leads the St. Louis Battlehawks at receiving yards, too. He's an all-purpose back.
Well, look at how he just bounces off of tackles, and no one wrapping him up there until they're finally able to get him to the ground. That was Trey Norwood that finally gets arms around him. But he's such a physical runner. He's not a huge guy. He's only 5'10", 199, but he's a physical runner in between the tackles.
2nd and 1. He'll burrow through for the first down, and they are just outside the 10 at the 11.
Well, this was a team that ran the ball so well in the first opening couple of weeks of the season. 218 yards per game on the ground, and Sailors was a big part of that. But Phil McGagan, he's wanted more, and it's been mostly Max Duggan in the last couple of weeks earning it, and now finally getting back to Sailors. And this is what you have to do to Birmingham. If you want to penetrate that red zone defense, you've got to be able to run the football right at them. It softens everything up on the edge.
Jackson, they'll use him in a variety of ways. Former Division III quarterback.
Short.
Let's listen in.
Live on right, empty, 18, Q truck, H bubble. Z short to live bunch right, empty, 18, Q truck, H bubble.
Here we go. Hey, Z short to gun, Y bunch right, empty, 18, Q truck, H bubble. Don't worry.
All right, so I think this is a quarterback kind of power. And then if they get too many guys in the box, which they don't right now, with 2 safeties, this should be a quarterback power right here.
This is a go zone for Duggan. Always has been. And that's why. That is why right there. Touchdown, Battlehawks.
Well, they ran it right at them in the interior with Sailors, and now here to cap it off, it's just Duggan around the edge. A little quarterback sweep on the outside. Good blocking down the field by the wide receivers, and you're exactly right, Tim. That is the wheelhouse for Max Duggan. The competitive spirit comes out when this guy can run the football, and he has a nose for the goal line, has had it since he was a college player at TCU, and what a quality series there for St. Louis. Again, helped by those 3 penalties by the Birmingham defense. But here's Duggan getting himself into the end zone.
See, they line it up at the 2-yard line, so they'll go for 1 here. And we have a momentary pause, perhaps a timeout.
Hands to the face on number 75.
Well, maybe we're going to get a challenge here.
On our number 30.
So hands to the face, offense number 75.
Yes, it's 75. Their left tackle on number 30. 75. We're sure about this. 75 on 30.
These super challenges, you've got to be very specific, Joel.
75, the left tackle. That's what I'm
Correct.
I'm just saying, that's a penalty.
Okay, let's find 75.
Birmingham is challenging that there was hands to the face.
Okay,
number
so
75 in the previous play.
Yeah, I'm on the coach's high left end zone. He's away from the play, but he clearly goes right to the face, knocks the helmet off, knocks him to the ground. That's a foul. So we've got hands to the face. Frank, we do have hands to the face on 75. It's a clear blow. His head knocks the helmet off. So we've got the spot of the foul at the 3-yard line.
Yeah, there it is. Yep.
It's during the run, so we have to enforce it from the spot of the foul.
So we're going from the 3 to the 18. Do you have any lateral position for
It's a 10-yard penalty. So, yeah, that's in the middle of the field. It's right between the hashes.
If a smile looks guilty, then that's what we've got.
Illegal hands to the face. The 75 of the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
That one's not difficult to find.
No, it's not.
Great work upstairs for Skip.
He's laughing right there. Here's another look, and this is Jared Jones-Smith, 75, and that big paw goes up there, and he just he knocks Chappelle Russell right over, and it there by Skip Holtz.
Very easy to miss, too, because the play itself was really unaffected by the foul, but it was a foul. No question about that. Look out! The go zone. Max Duggan says, period. Period. Exclamation point. I got you again.
Well, St. Louis has found something here formationally. 2 snaps in a row. Duggan's been able to run it in. Watch this. Here you've got all 4 of these players, 2 safeties and 2 linebackers, way separated, which means look at the middle of the field. It's wide open. Why? Because it's an empty formation. There's no backs in the backfield with Max Duggan. They did it on the previous snap. They ran that sweep over to the right side and scored a touchdown. Here they spread things out, and Duggan sees the middle of the field. It's wide open, and he just takes it himself in for a touchdown. I tell you, they have found something against this Birmingham defense, and now it's going to be on Corey Chamblin to have to adjust because that empty formation is causing havoc right now on this Birmingham D.
180!
Sailors. Well, he is very close, but it is ruled no good.
Well, I guess Jared Jones-Smith is off the hook. That's why he had that wry smile, Tim. He knew. He's like, hey, my quarterback's got me.
Well, not unlike an analyst having his play-by-play guy, or
vice versa.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
It's all about team.
You have my back more than you know, sir.
There's no I in team, but there is in Timmy B. Play calling head coaches are always that way. They really are. And Skip's always been a guy that called his own plays. He functions that way. And a nice return by Cade Johnson. And the quarterback carousel, speaking of, moving at full speed. Alex Magoo started the season opener. He got hurt. Matt Corral, the former Ole Miss star, played well. He got hurt. Case Cookness was cooking. Then he got banged up. Enter Andrew Peasley, who got some run before he, too, became part of the MASH unit. And entered Jamar Smith after the phone call came, and he's back in the saddle again. Formerly number 6, now number 1 in your hearts, Birmingham. 9-6 our score. Davion Davis, the wide receiver. Maribel, the setback. All came free.
Come on, Jamar, let's go.
Gets on top of it.
Let's win a football game. Let's go. Come on now. Hand it off. If you have a doubt, hand the ball off. Let's get something moving. I'm tired of going backwards. Let's go. Here we go. Let's go, Lion. Here we go. Let's go, Lion, Lucky, Apollo, odd switch. Lion, Lucky, Apollo, odd switch. Come on.
See, that's
perfect
knowing
example.
each other.
Yeah,
you know, and Jamar, so Skip knows Jamar can handle that and might even get Jamar going a little bit.
Second down, 13. Have some premature movement on the left side of that Birmingham offensive line.
73. False start. 73 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Yep. Second and 15. Here we go. There's our second and 17. Here we go. Lion, Lucky, Apollo, odd switch. Lion, Lucky, Apollo, odd switch.
The body language says one thing, the communication, something different. Stay cool. Smith onto the gun, shovels it out. And that's Maribel out to the 32.
Here we go. All right, here we go. 3rd and 13. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go Ram. Here we go. Let's go Big Ram. Let's go Big Ram. Here we go. Let's go Cougar. 58 Larry. Big Ram. Cougar. 58 Larry. Big Ram. Cougar. 58.
His dad would have needed salt shakers at dinner to tell you which way the play was going to go. 3rd down and 13 here. Marcus Ball is in at tight end, number 85. Pressure, and down he goes at the 25. Willie Harvey, the weak side linebacker, another one of those Cyclones from Iowa State. There is a strong connection with Anthony Beck and that program of Iowa State.
Going on the field as a quarterback's progress is stopped prior to the ball coming loose. 4th down.
Ball did come loose late, but he was already down. And a punt formation coming up.
Well, you're exactly right. Harvey was in there. Travis Feeney was in there as well. And you can see that they're trying to rip at that ball, and it looks like the shin was down. They ruled progress was stopped, so not even reviewable there. Even if Anthony Beck wanted to try to super challenge that, he cannot because of the announcement by the official on the field. And a good job by this defense. And again, this defense, like Birmingham, they've been one of the better defenses in the league. 2 straight weeks they've held opponents under 10 points. So this is a good defense playing really well of late.
That was a forgettable offensive series for Birmingham. The punt fielded by Pearson. And Jacour gets it up to the 41, and we've got a marker down.
Go curl flat, bang. Give him the ball. I want the ball out of your hands.
Get it out quickly, says the coach. Check the flag now.
Receiving team. During the kick, so we're going to tack that on from the end of the kick. 48. During the return, holding. 48 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty will be 1st and 10 for St. Louis.
56 seconds.
And Skip's not thinking about that, but they can, regardless of outcome today, clinch a playoff spot if Houston were to go down in that game against Michigan. So keep our eye on it.
Little swing pass out to Jacour Pearson at the 20-yard line. He stopped. Crowder on top of him. That's a loss of a yard. I should mention also that our friend Robert Smith is part of that broadcast team there. Speaking of outstanding running backs.
51 Z powder Einstein. Ready?
This defense, like I said, they've been one of the best, if not the best defense in the league. But right now they're playing with basically their 2 stars not in the game. Ronnie Perkins, he went to IR with an injury, and Bradley Anae, who's been outstanding, has not been in the last couple of series. Told that he's got a hamstring issue.
A lot of pressure off the edge, and Duggan showing his resourcefulness yet again. Meanders past the 25 to the 28, and again it's Crowder in the middle of that defense that makes the stop as we come to the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, they got away with a bit of a face mask right there. Perrion Winfrey grabbed the face mask. Duggan was asking for it. But I got to tell you, fireworks early from Jamar, from Matt. I'm there. You know, and as I was looking at this during the break, Dean, I agree with you. You know, there wasn't a grab. Just because he grazed and the head slightly moves doesn't rise to the level of a 15-yard face mask. So I would agree with you. And St. Louis challenging on a 2nd down play. They still had 3rd and 8 and still have 3rd and 8 here. You know, and again, I think when you look at these super challenges, there is a massive difference between the coaches that save their challenges for points-driven decisions versus yards-driven decisions.
Anthony Beck would beg to disagree, but I will say this about Anthony, his approach. He's an emotional guy. He will react to that emotion as former players might. And here comes a sack off the edge, a lot of pressure, and there was no denying the trouble that they were in. Look at Maximilian Roberts, 44, coming through here on Duggan.
Great rush by Maximilian Roberts around the outside, and he gets to Duggan, and all Duggan can do is cover up. And listen, I think Anthony Beck has done a remarkable job. I think he's one of the better coaches in this league. He does an outstanding job, and I don't want to harp on him for a super challenge, but the strategic usage there for yards, in particular, Tim, when you're not even getting yourself into field goal range there, you're still on your own side of the 50-yard line. Those yards, let's just talk it out from a percentage standpoint. The percentage of scoring, even if you get the automatic 1st down on that side of the 50, is still lower.
Yeah.
And so, again, the super challenge and the strategic nature with which you use it has got to be looked at in this league. And after 3 years now of sitting here and doing these games, I can just tell you the best time to use challenges are always scoring opportunity challenges versus yards-driven challenges.
Well, you see how it works with the super challenge. And frankly, I love the rule because it fixes something that in the past would never be fixed. And it's one of the innovations to the game, Joel, as someone that's been watching these games, not calling them as you have. I love that part of the game. I love that part of the game.
And Anthony Beck is generally, I would say, the best in the UFL at the Super Challenge. What a sack here, Paul.
Oh, yeah, and a scoop and possible score. That's Domapino who comes away with it. And it was Feeney that stripped it. 56 Feeney. And Peter Domapenu, who is everywhere on the field, comes up with the big recovery.
Well, just pay attention to these two edge rushers. They're both stood up. It's going to be Feeney that gets to the quarterback first. But then on the opposite side, it's Peter Domapenu, and he's going to scoop this one up. Here's 56. He gets the free rush right there. The ball is out, clearly out, and then there's his partner on the opposite side. Domapenu is able to pick it up, and St. Louis now with great field position and an opportunity to put more points on the board. This defense has been outstanding. They have won 3 straight largely because of their defense. Back-to-back games giving up under 10 points, and here setting their offense up inside the 10.
From the 7, Sailors the setback. They go with 3 wide. Sailors. He got all of that he could just inside the 3-yard line. Something Jamar may be finding out today in the starting position after coming in to salvage a game. We've got a late flag on the field, so we'll have to check that out. He has failed to feel some of the pressure, Joel.
Offense, number 87, eligible receiver, was covered. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So that'll back him up. But when you've been away from the game as he has, sometimes, right, you don't feel that pressure necessarily.
Yeah, feel is developed through reps. You know, it's similar to golf, and I know you love to play golf. If you don't play for a while, what leaves first? Your feel. And so your touch shots around the green. You know, it's not always just, hey, you can make throws down the field. You know, he's done that a million times. But the feel in the pocket is certainly something that is a reps-driven thing. And right now, not quite feeling that rush of the Battlehawks as it gets to him on that side.
First and goal from the 12. On the read. Duggan! Touchdown. His 5th touchdown rushing of the year, his 2nd today.
They stay in this 2-deep safety look, and they are getting killed with the quarterback run. As we take a look at the pylon to see if Duggan was able to touch that pylon with the football, he sure did. Again, this guy has a nose for that goal line. The competitive spirit of number 14. He's able to get to that pylon, get the ball into the end zone, and another rushing touchdown for Max Duggan. Duggan's threat with his legs in the red zone has been so effective here today.
Going for 1 here. A little underneath. Screen. Sailors got it. I believe he's going to be granted the extra point. He is. He just dumped it off. And there wasn't a lot of room. He could have been stopped. That surprised him. No doubt about it. They didn't see a pass. But since he's taken over as quarterback, as the defense has come back to life.
Yeah.
First 2 games, they averaged giving up 7.5. Last 2 games, they've averaged giving up 7.5. In between, they were averaging giving up 28.9. So says a lot about how they've come to life, and injuries figured into that. Here's Marlon Williams with a return, and he gets it up to the 23-yard line. Well, 4 teams have separated themselves from the pack in the UFL. All are at 5-2. The DC Defenders, St. Louis Battlehawks, the Stallions, of course, and the Michigan Panthers. And as you mentioned, now that the league and the merger of the two have taken place, and you see these conferences, we have seen some organizations get stability and others that are still in flux.
Yeah, well, you know, these two specifically, you know, these coaches have been around for a few years. They've got a lot of players that have been on these teams for 2 and 3 years, and you've got a lot of coaches on the coaching staff that have been in here for 2 and 3 years. So that continuity has led to what I feel like is more quality and less mistakes. You know, so many times in football, and this is every level of football. Bill Belichick talks about this. A lot of coaches talk about this. They'll tell you that more games are lost than they are won. And that's not a knock. That's just throughout the game. So if you can have some continuity and minimize mistakes, you're going to win a lot of football games. That's what Skip Holtz has been able to do with Birmingham. That's what Anthony Becht has been doing here with St. Louis as well. But these two guys have really been the model of this league for a couple of years.
2nd down and 2. Maribel. And let's get up with Skip once again. Here we go. Here we go.
All right, here we go. Let's go ram, jump. Ram, jump. Let's go gator, 16, fade. Timber up front.
I love that,
Ram,
Joel.
jump, gator,
You
16,
can hear him thinking
gator,
to himself.
16, fade.
And that sense of urgency is verbalized. Here we go, here we go.
Timber.
Not unlike his father in a lot of ways, but so unique to himself as a head coach. From the 43, they go empty. Incomplete the pass. Ball was tipped, it appeared, at the line of scrimmage.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's go razor. Here we go. Razor free. Razor free. Bronco odd. Razor free. Razor. No. Razor Ricky. Bronco odd. Razor Ricky. Bronco odd.
Ram Ricky, Bronco odd. I want ready.
Second down and 10. Person, the big burly back. He's a tough runner. He gets it up to about the 48-yard line.
Third medium. Here we go. Let's go Ram. Ram, flow, Florida, 29 Yahtzee. Ram, flow, Florida, 29 Yahtzee.
You notice that little cut he's got on his cheek. He finally got the shave, Joel, after getting over 30 points in a game. His wife, Jennifer, wanted to make sure that they got that mustache off, which turned into a beard. And he cut himself. 3rd and 6.
I got 22.
Slant, caught, Sternberger, the tight end.
I know that.
Well, they see they have man coverage because of that motion, and so it's an easy decision for Jamar Smith. He's got one-on-one with Jay Sternberger, the tight end, and he's going to take it, and it's an easy completion. Sternberger finally got loose last week. 4 catches, 74 yards, and a touchdown. He had been quiet, really, this year before last week, but he's a great weapon for them, in particular in the middle of the field, and that is a terrific 3rd down conversion right there, and a nice, easy throw for Jamar Smith against man coverage on 3rd.
And the first 3rd down conversion for either team today. The zone read concept again in person. Gets it to the 41 before being pushed back.
Okay, here we go. Nice job. Here we go. Let's go Lion. Here we go. Let's go Lion. Let's go Lion. Lucky. Peyton even. Lion Lucky. Peyton even.
Lion Lucky. Peyton even. I want ready. Peyton.
2nd down and 5. Marlon Williams is checked in. He's back there in the backfield with Maribel. And they go to CJ, and he's going to be a couple of yards shy of the 1st down.
Out there and take it. Here we go. 3rd and 3. What do you like? Here we go. Let's go. Here we go. Let's go Lou. Here we go. Let's go Lion. Lion jump. Bronco Reed 19. Lion jump. Bronco Reed 19.
Lion jump. Bronco Reed.
It's more like 2 than it is 3. Inside pressure, force that one to come out soon. They may get bailed out by the flag. Marlon Williams, the intended receiver.
Illegal use of hands. Pass to the face for the 24 of the defense. 5-yard penalty with an automatic 1st down.
Miles Jones, the culprit, 24.
Well, we saw 3 penalties go against Birmingham's defense on that scoring drive for St. Louis, and here the hands just go up to the face, and that's not going to make Anthony Beck very happy because, again, his quarterback, he challenged that face mask, clearly hands to the face, but as a runner, you don't get those types of protections like you do right there in just a normal hands to the face issue. Jones is called for it, and it's a 1st down for Birmingham, and now Skip doesn't have to make that 4th down decision. They had stopped him and forced Skip into an opportunity where he either had to go for another field goal or go for it on 4th.
Well, his defense gave St. Louis a few extra opportunities. And now the opposition doing much the same. Maribel gets it ahead inside the 30. Tyler Ball, the tackle.
Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Let's go rock. Here we go. Let's go rock. Ham. Rock ham. Let's go. Who's your odd? Wave shark. Rock ham. Who's your odd? Wave shark.
Who's the wave shark? Come on, ready? I'm the wave. Yeah.
Duggan looks on. His team now with the lead. Boy, that was a run stopper, huh? Feeney comes up to help that defensive forward wall. No one fooled by that call.
All right. All right, here we go. Here we go. Be smart with it. Here we go. Let's go big ram. Let's go big ram. Let's go Puma 44. Hog out pizza. Big ram. Just hog out. Big ram. Big ram. Puma 44. Hog out. Big ram. Puma 44. Hog out.
That's what I was saying, Joel. Sometimes a call, even if it doesn't work, is setting up another call, right?
it could, although here on 3rd and 9, you know, they've got to get a lot of this, or else we're just looking at a field goal opportunity.
Pressure. Oh, nice maneuver. And they find the tight end, Sternberger, again. And I got to tell you, I'm surprised that guy's not on an NFL roster. He was a consensus All-America at Texas A&M, Jay Sternberger.
Well, here's Sternberger, and watch, he's going to first chip on Taumoepinu. And that's a great, not a great chip, but it's just enough that gets Jamar loose, and then he becomes just a check down, and he gets himself loose. But what I love about him is he understands as a check down that he can work away from the defender, and he gets himself some space to work and gets a first down.
In the red zone at the 16. Dion scooped that one up. He did catch it before it got to the ground. It was almost a short hop. This is a very nice play on Kane's part.
You were talking about baseball earlier. Yeah. This has me reminiscent to like the short hops.
Oh yeah,
on first base. Did he catch that? I thought that there was a little of that.
Well,
those black.
As an old first baseman, I will tell you, I think he short hopped.
I think he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ball definitely.
The nose of it, I thought.
Put 25 on the play.
Did a great job. And listen, I give the receiver a lot of credit, but I think the cone of the ball may have touched.
Part of baseball is just the deke. You know, just like make it seem like you caught it.
My coaches used to say, Tim, if there's some dirt down there, pick it up, will you? Get the dirt to come up with your mid. 2nd and 10. Swings it back out, and this one is low. Falls incomplete. Back to Skipper.
Was rain there? Was rain there? Was rain there? Here we go. 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 Let's go. Here we go. Rose. Rose. ZN. Let's go. Rose. ZN. Florida. 48 flop. Rose. ZN. Florida. 48 flop.
I counted 6 here we goes on that one.
Yeah, that's about right. You know, the bigger the play, you get into that 5, 6, 7, 8 sometimes. If you get an 8 here we go, then you know it's a good one.
3rd and 10 up against the play clock. Just got it off in time. Pressure again. He's in all kinds of trouble. Really fortunate to get it back as far as he did. Chris Garrett, 48 on top of him. The pressure from Taumoepinu.
Well, this is a terrific stunt by St. Louis. Watch right here. You're going to get the inside move, and that's basically a block. Why? So you can get Taumoepinu right up the gut right here, and he's able to get right by the center, Cole Schneider. And that was some Houdini stuff by Jamar just to get away from Taumoepinu. Right over the top. Look at him, and he keeps himself up to get some positive yards. But Mevis back onto the field for another field goal opportunity.
Harrison Davis is, as we mentioned, been money. Only missing the one. The kid from Mizzou who kicked a 61-yarder to beat Kansas State early in the...
Trust me, I love this sport. My dad was a football coach. I've been around it my whole life. I absolutely love it. Listening to coaches coach their players and call the plays is an innovation that I can't get enough of. And I know that if you're watching right now, you're in the same boat.
Gary Jennings with this return. He gets it out to the 35-yard line. And Duggan has had his way of late. He's got them on their heels a bit.
Yeah, well, look, you got two safeties back, and the linebackers here are totally spread out. Why? Empty set. So what does Duggan do? He just takes it right up the middle. So then they use another formation. They bring those running backs back in, but guess what? You've got two safeties still back. Now the linebackers are in. Duggan around the outside. The problem right now for Birmingham is that they are consistently putting two safeties back. That means that if Duggan wants to run, he can do that because St. Louis has the run numbers, the run ratios up front. I expect Birmingham to start going to a single safety look and dropping a safety down to stop the run.
That time on that read, Duggan decided to keep it. Jarvion Howard was in the backfield.
And you see that adjustment on that first snap right here. So watch, they just changed this defensive set a little bit. So you've got a safety here and a safety here, but this safety is coming down. This one's going over to the middle of the field. So you get that rotation now at the snap to try to bring an extra hat down to stop the run of St. Louis and more specifically their quarterback, Max Duggan. Keep an eye on these safeties.
Nothing doing this time. And here's Corey Chamberlain with the play call upstairs on the sidelines. I beg your pardon.
Here, pressure. Where they going? Are they 12? Where they going? NASCAR, 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 NASCAR. Train Pirate, backer 1. Train Pirate, press backer 1. Train Pirate, press backer 1.
Okay, so this is press coverage, cover 1. Cover 1 is a man coverage. You'll have a single safety back. Pirate is going to be a stunt or a blitz up front. So they're going to bring a 5th or 6th rusher right here, but you're going to get man coverage all over on the outside. You got man-to-man here. You got man-to-man here. You got one safety in the back end, and there's the pressure.
Too much of it, and Duggan goes down. Harry-on Winfrey, a huge addition to this team. And that front 4 out of Oklahoma with the tackle.
Well, this is that stunt I was talking about. So when you get stunting, you got guys going this way, and then you're going to loop around and come right there. And it's a way to disrupt the rush lanes and get to the quarterback, yes, but also it prevents the scramble. Rather than just sending guys right up the field and opening up those rush lanes for a running quarterback to get through them, you can stunt, and it takes away those scramble lanes from a quarterback like Max Duggan.
Hofrichter will boot it away. Taken by Davis. And he is stopped in his tracks, maybe about a yard, if that. On the coverage, Miles Jones, 24 now,
That's right. Just
happy anniversary on that. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Doesn't that remind you a little bit of marriage?
I mean,
that entire conversation?
Skip can be way more honest than we can. Sarah can probably throw a screen pass.
Yes, she can.
But I certainly couldn't tell her. I couldn't be like, babe, if we can't throw a screen pass, that would be like fighting work right there. And Jamar and Skip, it's like they're on their 25th anniversary.
Maribel, the setback. He has to make an adjustment behind the line of scrimmage. Gets it back to the line of scrimmage.
Double teaming him.
9th year. So this is their 9th year together. In football years, that's like 45 married years.
Without a doubt.
No, I know, we're not.
They're not going to snap it here, so we're going to run it down to the 2-minute warning here. And tell you what, that's great audio. And he sunned him. Like, listen, if you're a player out there and a coach gives you a sun,
oh yeah,
I mean, your ears better perk up.
Usually when I heard sun, it was, Brando, that's the worst I've ever seen, son.
Hey, he's coming through on the left. We were doubling that guy. Supposed to be doubling.
Baseball coaches can be brutal. Oh, really makes sense. Yeah. And they'll be talking about one another for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. It's interesting, you know, Jamar didn't know if he wanted to be back and wasn't with Birmingham at the beginning of the year. And it took a call from his boss, you know, his father figure in football to get him back this year just a few weeks ago. And here he is, finds himself on the field, drives him down the field last week for a win.
After the Marcus Ball catch, let's go to Jim.
Well, I think Joel brings up a great point just about Jamar and the journey he's been on to get back with this team, and he's been pretty open about the fact that he was dealing with some mental health. He wanted to get his mind right. Guys, he was working at a Dunkin' Donuts just last month. He said he was working there in the morning because he could train in the afternoon. He said, I still had more to give. The tank wasn't empty.
Yeah, there's a little quick pass out to Davion Davis. in the tunnel of the Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center he was working out. His old training coach, his strength and conditioning guy.
Here we go. Let's go, Lou. Here we go. Let's go, Lou. Lou. Let's go, Atlanta. 25. Just go, Atlanta. 23 smash. Lou, Atlanta. 23 smash.
After 2 straight 10-yard gains and first downs. Here we go again with 90 seconds left in the half. From the 40. Out of the shotgun. Overthrows this time his intended receiver, Marcus Bell.
No, listen to me. I called Lou. I'm trying to put the H to the boundary. I called Lou. Come on now. Little things matter. Here we go. Let's go. Here we go. Let's go. Lou, hack. Lou, hack. Apollo odd. Lou, hack. Apollo odd. We're on the ball if we don't make it. We can't hear you.
In between a couple of defenders. Jalen Camp, the intended receiver.
Take your
3rd and 10
over here. Take this slant. It's quarters. That guy ran. He was gone. You got it. Here we go. 3rd down. Here we go. Let's go big lion. Let's go big lion. Big lion. Let's go Puma. 55 hot. Big lion. Puma. 55 hot.
Rocco Beck is really proud of the fan support that he's gotten this year, urging them on, playing the role of maestro here. Pressure again. Look at him get out of that kind of trouble, Joel. That's amazing to have been away from the game that long and still have those kinds of instincts. Free safety Cameron Kelly comes up to make the stop. It will be 4th and 6, however. And a timeout by the Battlehawks.
Yeah, a good timeout there, making sure to save some of this clock. Minute 13 now, and Anthony Beck is going to get his offense back on the field. They'll have 1 timeout left and a chance to put some more points on the board.
Well, coming up on the Progressive Halftime Show, that's some analysis from the one and only Joel Klatt. Look in on Michigan and Houston. That game taking place on Fox and other areas of the country, and we'll take you inside the locker rooms. And trust me, you hear more from Skip because he's calling the plays, but Anthony Beck does a great listen to, so much so that he was a broadcaster both on television and for years with the Jets, who of course drafted him out of college. Played for the great Don Nalen at West Virginia. Mark Bolger, Amos Zaraway were on those teams in the late 90s to 2000. Will punt it away. Pearson from the 15. Great coverage again by Birmingham. 39-yard bunt, boot, and a 4-yard return. A.J. Thomas will tackle, and we've not heard yet from Hakeem Butler, an outstanding wide receiver.
Well, you think about what he meant to this team last year, and you know, he's the offensive player of the year for a reason, and 652 yards. And this season, it just hasn't materialized. He's only been out there for 4 weeks. He's only got 4 catches. Now, 3 of them went for touchdowns. But you can start to see the frustration. And part of this is he had A.J. McCarron last year, who was a pocket passer, a prototypical passing quarterback. This year, he hasn't had that. You know, he's had Manny Wilkins and Max Duggan, and it's more of a run threat at quarterback. And so the outside passing game just hasn't been there.
Pressure again, and he's flushed. And Duggan ushers himself out of bounds after a negligible gain. Butler was ill last week, preparatory to the Battlehawks win at Memphis. He only had the 1 catch, but he did not get as much time to prepare for the game. But you look at this wide receiving core, not just Butler, but Darby, Pearson, Jennings. These are really good wide receivers, and I know in talking with Max, he would love to get to know them better and establish some rapport. But he, too, is still, as they say, getting accustomed to having them as teammates. Over the middle and right on cue, Blake Jackson, that other wide receiver. And the former D3 quarterback, who has a touchdown pass himself this year as a first down.
I tell you, the time that Duggan got in the pocket was what made this play. He was able to pump, and then finally he finds his man across the middle. It was a really good route by Jackson, who comes across, and Blake Jackson with a huge completion there. Kind of gets them outside of their own red zone, if you will, backed up, and now they've got a real opportunity for some points. Remember, Rodrigo Blankenship, their kicker, along of 56 against DC this year.
Second longest play of the day. Oh, this one gets away from Duggan, and he has to cover it up. So a huge loss on 1st and 10.
Yeah, that snap just way over to Duggan's right, and he couldn't bring that one in. Sailors was also over there. Watch as Duggan tried to go up and catch this, and then there was going to be a little bit of a play fake, and Sailors' left arm was up there and touched the football as Duggan tried to catch it. So confluence of errors there, and that's going to lead to a timeout and a long yardage situation.
Mike Panashuk is the converted defensive player. It's now the offensive center for this team. And the reminder that tonight it is baseball night in America, as Matt Olson and the Braves take on Alex Bregman and the Red Sox. So the Twins battle the Brewers. Check local listings for the game in your area tonight at 7 Eastern here on Fox.
These 2-minute situations are so vital, and you've got to execute. You can't take negative plays. You got to know what stops the clock. And this one with the timeout left, you know, in a long yardage situation, you can work the middle of the field, but probably would have to take a timeout.
And he does find Hakeem Butler that time.
Oh, that's a killer right there. Now you got to take a timeout. Yeah. He wasn't able to get out of bounds. Negligible gains just don't do anything for you.
An incompletion would have been better.
100%.
Yeah. And a quick timeout by Birmingham now.
Hey, True J.
First time out of the half. Birmingham. Please reset the play clock.
An old saying, Joel, about you got to make your layups, and you have to make those decisions at times. The easy passes, you got to convert them. I think that's been sort of the negative book on Duggan, that in the passing game, sometimes he misses the layups.
Yeah.
And once he can corral that part of his game, you know, he still has a chance. He wants to compete and have an opportunity. He loved his opportunity with the Chargers. It didn't work out. This offense is run similar to what the Rams do, the Chargers do. That's why Anthony Beck wanted him.
He's got the competitive spirit. There's no doubt. And you're right. You know, like, as a quarterback, to go to the next level, you can't make easy look hard.
Yeah.
And, you know, there are guys with an immense amount of talent that make hard look easy, but make easy look hard. And that's got to be the other way around. And like you said, kind of take your layups. But at this point, it's really about field goal range and not trying to get the first down per se. You can get this ball to about the 40-yard line on the opposite side, and they can probably attempt a field goal from there.
Yeah, you've got an NFL kicker waiting in the wings. This pass is caught by Darby.
There you go.
And you're in field goal range. This is a guy that can kick it from anywhere.
Hey, field goal!
Yeah.
It's fourth down, so you can't spike it. He's got to run his field goal unit on the field.
73 and 75.
Blankenship. 56 is his longest. He hasn't missed. 58 yards this try. I guess we jinxed him. He had been perfect, correct?
He had been perfect.